Chapter 112, The Seer. This isn't enough. I want more people to die. More people to die. I want more ghosts. Ma Dongfang looked at Liu Yong. This is already in the tens of millions. Liu Yong frowned. 10 million? See if it's enough. Mr. Dongfang laughed lightly. With a wave of his probing hand, boom. Not far away within a small foggy area, the clouds abruptly dispersed, revealing a giant tree, which was the 100 longevity peach tree that Gu Hai had seen in the heavenly remnant realm in the past. Root in, Mr. Dongfang beckoned. Rumble. The roots of the 100 longevity peach tree steeply plunged into the huge ghost pool below. Oh, don't. Within the ghost pool, countless ghosts revealed a look of horror. Rumble. However, it was seen that a root was like a pump, crazily sucking in the rolling ghosts. Blue flames burned, and some of the ghosts were instantly refined into liquid form, being accelerated by the 100 longevity peach tree to absorb them. In the ghost pool, the group of ghosts cried and howled, but, in the face of the 100 longevity peach tree, they simply couldn't escape. And in the twinkling of an eye, they were refined by the blue flames. Rumble. As if a long whale sucked in water, the rolling pool of ghosts was absorbed cleanly in the twinkling of an eye. At this moment, on the 100 longevity peach tree, it was slowly blossoming, followed by the growth of 10 small peaches, only the size of a finger, too much smaller than the ones that Gu Hai had obtained in the past. Emperor dying. Did you see that? This entire pool of ghosts has only grown these 10 tender peaches. It's still a long way from ripening. Mr. Dongfang looked at Liu Yong and laughed. Liu Yong frowned slightly. 100 life peach tree. It's growing too slowly. It's not slow anymore. In the past, in the heavenly remnant realm, it would only bear fruit once in 100 years. Now it's much faster. Unfortunately, it's a bit harmful to the peach tree, Mr. Dongfang said indifferently. But, last time you used a living person as a feeder for me. Now, are you still willing? Ma Dongfang looked at Liu Yong. A living person. Using a living person as a feeder will cause public anger in the world. Liu Yong shook his head. Wasn't it used once last time? As long as you don't say anything and I don't say anything, who else will know? Ma Dongfang compelled. It's not necessary. You should still collect ghosts. Liu Yong frowned, but in his eyes, there was some intent in the end. All right, everything is up to you. However, I don't have enough nutrients here to quickly give birth to the 100 longevity peach. Don't you want to use the longevity peach to enlist those strange people? No peaches. This. Mr. Dongfang shook his head and didn't say much. Instead, he probed his hand and took out a gourd. Who are you? As soon as the gourd opened, rolling ghosts immediately gushed out from within, once again pouring into the ghost pool. Your Majesty save your life. Your Majesty, I am loyal to you. Your Majesty, I died in battle for dying. Why do you still let Shushi refine me? The ghosts that flew out of the gourd burst into a bitter plea. Liu Yong, however, was unmoved. Above Sima Changkong's flying boat, the crowd had just experienced Long Wanyu's ambush, and they were all at a relatively low mood at the moment. Gao Xianzi, Gu Chen, and Mu Chenfeng took a group of subordinates to rest temporarily. The two of them, Gu Hai and Master Liu Nian, stood above the deck and talked about Long Wanyu. Long Wanyu's character is like this, spoilt by the great Jin sage, and one king never lets her be aggrieved, so. Gu Hai, you take it easy, Master Liu Nian said bitterly. Gu Hai shook his head. It's nothing. I've been observing her just now, when she saw me commit suicide. But her eyes were full of regret. It's just a little bit of sassy and capricious, not bad in nature. It's good that you can think like that. Flowing Ear's master smiled slightly bitterly. Because of being unruly and capricious, that's why Grandmaster preferred to follow Wanqing back then. Gu Hai laughed. Alas, there is this aspect of the reason Long Wanyu has the protection of the great Jin sage, There should not be any danger. Besides, it is useless for me to be by Longwan Yu's side. In the past, in the world, only one king was able to suppress her. The others, no one could suppress her anger. If I stayed by her side, I would only live to die of anger, Liu Nian Master bitterly said. Yes, Wan Qing is no longer around. However, unruly capriciousness also needs a limit. It can't be lawless. There needs to be someone who can suppress her flames. Otherwise, sooner or later, she'll have to make a big trouble. Gu Hai nodded. We are unable to take her. Why don't you come? You discipline her on behalf of Wan Qing. Otherwise, no one can cure her. Master Liu Nian looked towards Gu Hai. Gu Hai smiled slightly bitterly. By the way, I've never understood. Earlier wherever we went, why did Longwan Yu know in advance? This has always baffled me. Gu Hai frowned. Grandmaster Liu Nian was silent for a while, looked around, and finally said with a faint burst of bitter smile. Originally, this shouldn't be said. But, since you asked, it's good for you to know. Oh, Dojin Saint, let Dragon Wan Yu lawlessness. Even a crowd of princes are not Dragon Wan Yu, the heart of Dojin Saint high status. And the same as the sister of Dragon Wan Qing. Dojin Saint, but another attitude. Simply do not care. Do you know why? Grandmaster Liu Nian solemnly said. Why? The great Jin sage has many children. And the children's children are too many to count. And even the great Jin sage has a fourth and fifth generation of children and grandchildren. So if every one of them is pampered, where is the pampering to come from? Dojin Saint only favor some more important only, such as a group of princes. The princes a powerful role. Dojin Saint appreciate them. And Longwan Yu has a natural ability that everyone envies. Grandmaster Liu Nian solemnly said. OE ability. Longwan Yu is an innate longevity master. Grandmaster Liu Nian solemnly said. Innate longevity master. Gu Hai raised an eyebrow. Yes, longevity masters can't be cultivated by anyone. The inheritance of longevity masters must be passed down by selecting a special bloodline and destiny, just like that unborn, who went on to cultivate longevity because of a special bloodline and a special destiny. These are all acquired cultivation, are acquired longevity masters. However, there are two kinds of longevity masters that are born. They are born with this ability. They are innate longevity masters. Longwan Yu is one of these types of innate longevity masters. Prophecy Master. Grandmaster Liu Nian solemnly said. Prophecy Master. Gu Hai revealed a hint of doubt. It's the ability to see the future. Grandmaster Liu Nian explained. Impossible. The future is full of uncertainty. How is it possible to see the future? Gu Hai was surprised. I'm also puzzled, but that's just the way it is. She can see the future. And once a month, there is a chance to be able to see the future. Master Liu Nian shook his head and said. Gu Hai frowned in contemplation. After a long moment of silence, he shook his head and said, No. When we traveled in the first place, it wasn't like that. It was because she interfered with us with the stone monument that made us change our itinerary. It means there are many variables in the future. Grandmaster Liu Nian was slightly puzzled. Longwan Yu should have deduced the future. She deduced until we saw the stone monument. Then we changed direction. She then deduced. Then saw the stone monument again. Then changed direction. Should be able to deduce the future, Gu Hai said gruffly. No matter what, her prophecy was correct, Master Liu Nian solemnly said. But she didn't predict that I didn't die from suicide. A prophet. There should still be a breakage, right? Gu Hai frowned. Prophecies can't be used indefinitely. Maybe the prophecy's ability was depleted at that time. Or maybe she was just angry and didn't necessarily want to put you to death, right? Didn't you say that she's not bad by nature? Master Liu Nian laughed. Gu Hai frowned slightly and nodded. Prophets, there is another ability to argue good fortune and evil, which can lead to good fortune and avoid evil. When one encounters a deadly threat, there will be great evil. When encountering a great joyous encounter, there will be a feeling of great good fortune. Grandmaster Lunar New Year solemnly said, "Oh, a feeling of great evil, a feeling of great auspiciousness. No wonder, at that time, when I took out the absolute life blade, she immediately said it was dangerous, so it's because she sensed a great auspicious sign." Gu Hai analyst. "It should be," Master Liu Nian nodded. "A prophet, prophesying the future, tend to good fortune and avoid evil. No wonder the great Jin sage treasures her so much," Gu Hai nodded. "By the way, with this thing, I might have to trouble you again." Master Lunian smiled bitterly. Saying that, he took out a black jade talisman, which was shrouded with a faint layer of black qi. This is the magic treasure that was left behind for Long Wan Yu to defend herself before the unliving man left. The unliving man said that if it was crushed, he would feel it, and wherever it was, he would be the first to arrive. Gu Hai frowned. "This is indeed the jade talisman of the Unshengren. Let me give it to Long Wan Yu." But Long Wan Yu simply don't even look at it. The Unshengren killed one king. Long Wan Yu hates him to the bone. How could he want this black jade talisman? For this father, Long Wan Yu is filled with hatred. Not willing to accept it at all, Master Liu Nian laughed bitterly. "Alas," Gu Hai sighed slightly. "This object, you help receive it first. I am unable to talk Long Wan Yu. I hope you can convince her." Master Liu Nian smiled bitterly. Gu Hai nodded and took it with a sigh. When the black jade talisman entered his hand, a wave of coolness immediately rushed straight to his heart. Gu Hai felt a momentary, general relief throughout his body. What the unborn left for his daughter was indeed a good treasure. Carefully putting away the jade talisman, Gu Hai looked into the distance. In the distance, a huge city could already be seen. It wasn't a city where people lived. It should be a temporary city, like the Fall Destruction City. Above the city gate, the three big words Zenon City were written. Here it is. This is the Divine Martial King's camp. A newly opened city. Grandmaster Liu Nian looked into the distance. At this time, Long Sanqian and Sima Changkong also walked out. "Mr. Gu, in front of us is the place where Father is stationed. I can hear Father mentioning Mr. Gu many times. If Mr. Gu can come, Father must be rejoicing." Long Sanqian laughed. "Mr. Gu, enter Zenon City. I'll bring Mr. to settle down. The king will host a banquet. Does Mr. Gu need to take a rest first?" Sima Changkong looked at Gu Hai and smiled. "That's fine. I'll take care of Mr. Sima. Also, if Miss Sima doesn't mind the trouble, can you tell me what exactly the Broken Army's capabilities are, so that the Divine Martial King's army can't go any further?" Gu Hai laughed. "Where's the trouble? I'm begging for it." Sima Changkong laughed.